I got the bloodlust. Me too. I want to kill. Let's kill.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to The Bloodlust. This is your go-to podcast for classy broads talking horror since 2014. This is episode 275 of the program. Tonight we are discussing Ryan Coogler's Sinners, a vampire period piece and surprise musical. Joining me tonight, as always going forward, is my new lovely and talented co-host, Kay.
Hi.
Hi, babe.
You have to stop calling this a musical because people have been getting turned off by it. They're like, oh, maybe I won't see that. It's not a musical.
It is a musical.
I mean, it has music numbers.
It has music numbers. It's not a musical in the traditional sense in that they don't spontaneously break out into song and sing about their activities.
Yeah, they don't use song to move along the plot point.
What's another movie that is very music-based but doesn't? Oh, Robert Altman's Nashville. That's a good example. It's kind of like that, I guess.
Yeah.
I can't think of a more modern.
I've seen people's faces just drop when you say
Really?
that. Yeah.
Oh, well, it excited us.
Yes.
It has some great musical numbers, but we'll get to that. So, I want to formally welcome Kay to the podcast.
Oh, shucks. Thanks for having me.
It is our pleasure. And thank you, listeners, too, for the lovely goodbye messages that you sent to Jamie. She is reading and appreciating them, and that's very sweet. So I thought, in lieu of our regular roundtable for this episode, which would probably be something like best musical sequence in a horror movie, or I don't know, because we've already done, like, what's your favorite vampire in a horror movie? Can you think of a favorite vampire movie?
What was the one that all of the little kids were...
That's a zombie movie.
Well, that one. Except for zombies.
That was the girl with all the gifts.
That one.
Yeah, that's very good. I think my favorite vampire movie is Let the Right One In, the Swedish movie. I showed you that with the little boy and the little girl who's a vampire. And he was bullied. It doesn't matter.
Well, fine. Well, I'm going to say Twilight then.
Okay.
Okay.
Just giving you a little taste of what you're in for with Kay, guys.
You're not going to kick me off the show.
No, not yet. So, in lieu of our roundtable, like I was saying, I thought I would facilitate you listeners getting to know Kay a little bit better by asking them some questions about their horror roots, horror experiences. Now, you are not admittedly that big of a horror fan.
That's correct. Yeah, I think that my knowledge has grown quite a bit since just us dating.
I think so.
And I do know that there's a lot of homework that I have to do. There's apparently a whole list of things that I have to watch just to get into the realm of being a good co-host on a horror movie podcast.
I have made a spreadsheet.
So hopefully my taste will blossom as we go along. But right now, I'm here for the colorful commentary. So here are some questions that I thought might help you guys get a little taste of Kay.
Okay, what was your first R-rated movie in the theater?
Oh, you didn't say in the theater.
Oh, what was your first R-rated movie?
Oh, it was Liar Liar.
I didn't even know that was rated R.
Yeah, I felt like such a badass because I was like 12 or something.
Okay. Very good. Did you like it?
I think I remember liking it, thinking it was funny.
Do you remember the first movie you saw in the theater?
Not horror. I remember Lion King.
That was your first movie?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Mine was Snow White.
Snow White.
Yeah. And my first drive-in movie was The Karate Kid.
Oh, that's fun.
Mm-hmm. Do you care about spoilers?
No, not at all.
Never.
Tell me the end. I don't care. I'm
really?
still going to watch it. Yeah.
Okay. That's
and
good
I'll
to know.
Probably forget. You told me that it was a vampire movie as we were walking in, and I still did not remember that it was a vampire movie until that guy was burning.
Okay. So your memory is as poor as mine. That's nice. What is the first horror movie you remember seeing?
The Sixth Sense.
And did you like it?
Yes, I loved it. It was at a sleepover at my friend Becca's house, and everyone else had fallen asleep, and I started it over and watched it again.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
Loved it.
it's a movie that it rewards a second viewing because
Yeah.
you're like, is he actually communicating with anybody?
Right.
Right. Did you have nightmares or anything? Were you scared after? You
No.
handled it okay.
Yeah. It was pretty good. Pretty tough.
I remember the jump scare with the little girl who was poisoned popping out. That was pretty good.
Yeah. And they had like good parts where they didn't show you necessarily how they had died until like they turned around
Right.
or things like that.
Oh yeah, I remember the reveal when
Yeah.
that person turns around and their head's
Yep.
blown off. Yeah. Okay, here's another one. What is scarier to you? Giant monsters like Godzilla or small monsters like Chucky or Puppet Master?
I think that the big ones and like more all encompassing are more scary to me, but then it usually fails when they show the actual monster.
Yes.
It's like, well, that's not what I was picturing, and that looks, well, kind of dumb.
Kind of dumb. Do you remember that underwater movie that we watched with Kristen Stewart? You remember the big bad in that? It was all like big and tentacle-y and like...
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of liked how that looked, personally. But I feel like you're right. A lot of times they don't match what you think in your mind.
Right.
Personally, to me, little monsters are scarier.
Not like Chucky.
Yeah.
Yeah?
But not Chucky. But like Leprechaun and Troll and things like that.
I see.
And the freaks in the movie Freaks.
Is it because you're so little?
I don't know. Maybe.
Everyone's big to you, so that's not scary, but something
Maybe that's
smaller.
what it is. Maybe that's what it is. Listeners, if you didn't know, I'm very small. So you're learning about me as well, and that's nice.
That's nice.
Okay, so what is something that characters often do in horror movies that bothers you?
I mean, obviously, when they split up, it's like, okay,
Stupidest thing you can do.
yeah, you've got strength in numbers. Don't send everyone off to go looking for something on their own. Absolutely not.
Very smart. Very smart.
At least a buddy system. Come on.
Of these subgenres, which do you prefer? You can say more than one. Horror comedies, found footage, artsy-fartsy horror, Blumhouse franchise horror. Do you have a preference of those subgenres?
My absolute favorite is going to be like the comedies.
Okay.
Because the camp of it all, of course.
Yes.
But I do really like the found footage, which is not something that I knew until I met you.
Oh, yeah?
We watch a lot of found footage.
Yes, we do.
But I was too young for the Blair Witch.
Yeah, you were.
So like
Is that like 99 or something?
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I missed that in theaters, and so I didn't really have any exposure to it.
Yeah. Well, it's gotten really popular in recent years even more just because it's so easy for people to record things. Everyone has a camera.
Yeah. The Paranormal Activity ones I saw before you,
Okay.
and I loved those.
Yeah, those are really good.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite or least favorite horror trope?
I'm really into any of the like religious tropes. I was born and raised in the church, so that fear is already there for me. So
Right.
adding in the devil or hell or anything like that will really start working on my senses. Also, I didn't write this down, but I think any like natural disasters, like when the descent, like inside of the cave or inside of an ocean, or like anything that is, that's when the one where the plane went down and there was snow everywhere.
Oh,
like
yeah.
just the anxiety of that all.
Like man versus nature kind of
Right.
movies.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I can see religious horror being something that would resonate with you.
Just like in this movie.
Just like in this movie. Very, very true.
Tie it all together. What a great segue. Wow, I should be on a podcast.
You should, honey.
Wow.
So that's some stuff to let you get an idea of Kay's likes and dislikes. Your favorite subgenre of horror is slashers, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like a slasher. Did you know that the trailer for the new I Know What You Did Last Summer movie just came out?
I did not know.
I thought you'd be excited about that.
That is exciting.
Yeah.
I also don't care about trailers.
I understand.
But
it means that there's going to be a new one.
Yeah.
And that's exciting, right?
and that is exciting.
All right, good. So this has been the roundtable portion of our program. As always, feel free to send us roundtable questions. You can send them to thebloodlustpodcast@gmail.com or leave them as comments on our website, thebloodlust.net, or you can submit them through Instagram or Facebook to us. Now, shall we start talking about Sinners?
Let's get into it.
Let's go. So this movie is rated R. It has a runtime of 2 hours and 17 minutes, quite long.
It didn't feel long.
No, it didn't really. It's written and directed by Ryan Coogler, whose name you might recognize because he's a huge director. He's made several blockbuster movies, including Black Panther and the second Black Panther. And he also made a really good movie called Fruitvale Station, which I believe was his first movie, which is about a shooting that happened when I was living in California. It's a very good movie. And that was what gave him his big break. This movie stars Miles Caton, who is a newcomer. This was his first movie. Saul Williams and Michael B. Jordan. It was released in theaters April 18th, 2025. It currently has a 98% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes with critics and 97% fresh with audiences. Would you like to give us a synopsis of this movie?
Sure. I first want to say that I didn't know that the main two characters were played by the same person.
You didn't.
So much that when the credits were rolling, I was waiting to see, like, it was in order by appearance. And I was like, how did the one brother get so high up there? Where's the other brother? Very funny.
You did not realize that was the same guy.
No.
Did you think it was like real twins?
Yeah. It's like, wow, look at these twins. Okay, synopsis.
I didn't write one down, so you gotta wing it.
Okay. So the story takes place in the 1930s,
Yes.
and they are in the South, Mississippi?
They are in Clarksdale, Mississippi.
And the twins had just come back to town after their rendezvous in Chicago. They brought back some liquors, and they're going to start a juke joint to have all of the locals come and spend their money. They go about getting food and drinks and signs made.
And
for
a performer.
A couple of performers.
One of whom is their cousin.
Right, Sammy.
Yeah.
For this big opening night, and everything is going on without a hitch until the middle of the night when the sun went down, and then everything gets set on fire.
Yeah. So our basic main characters are Sammy and then Smoke and Stack. Those are the names for the twins. And
Elias and Elijah.
Elias and Elijah. Why would you name your kids such close names?
They're twins.
I mean, I guess, but I don't know.
Did you write it down? Did you remember that's what
Elias and Elijah? No, I forgot. I should have written it down. You're right. So yeah, there's a lot of musical numbers. There's a lot of character building and world building at the beginning. There are not any vampires until at least halfway through the movie.
Yeah, for sure.
It's very reminiscent, and Ryan Coogler said that this was a big influence on him of From Dusk Till Dawn, which you have not seen yet, but we ought to give it a shot. It was an interesting movie because did I just say Quentin Tarantino made that? Robert Rodriguez made it. Quentin Tarantino wrote the screenplay. Anyway, it's an interesting movie because the first half of it is a crime drama, and the second half of it is a gory vampire movie.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Yeah. So he kind of followed that template to make this. What else do we have as far as... there's an actress in this named Wunmi Mosaku, who you might remember from the movie His House, which we have reviewed on the show before, which was a really cool British, I believe, horror movie. I thought she gave a really good performance. She played Alice in this.
Thank you.
Saul Williams, the musician and author, plays Sammy's father, the preacher. This was the second horror film to be shot on IMAX ever. The first being Jordan Peele's Nope. And we saw it, not in IMAX, but in the EMAX theater, which was pretty cool. This is Ryan Coogler's first movie based on an original idea. So this is the first one to come solely from his noggin, which I think was a fun thing for him to do, it seems like. I think that's all we need to know before we start talking about what we thought. Would you like to go first about what you thought?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I really liked it. I liked all of the, character building between the old girlfriends and them coming back to town and how the girls feel about that. And the fact that, a lot of people in town already know their reputation, and for good or for bad, that either intrigues them to come to the party or it makes them want to, start a fight about having the party and the gambling. And I loved the whole thing. Yeah, I think I would give it a 4.5.
Yeah?
So high, yeah.
And you liked all the musical numbers.
And of course I loved all the musical numbers, definitely.
Did you like the lead performances? Did you think that they did a good job?
Yeah, Sammy's voice took me a second to get into.
His singing voice?
No, his singing voice is so beautiful.
Good. Yeah.
But his little drawl accent was you don't sound like anyone else around you, that you're all from the same town. What is happening? But I got over it pretty quickly.
I kind of felt like, I don't know. I know that Michael B. Jordan is kind of Ryan Coogler's muse. He's cast him in all of his movies. But I don't know that I think it was necessary for him to play both roles. And I don't know, he has a ton of charisma, and I think he's a really charismatic, huge movie star and really talented. But I don't know that I feel like he did enough to differentiate between the two brothers, because I had a rough time telling them apart.
Oh, I kind of liked that.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, they were wearing slightly different outfits, so the visual cues definitely helped me a lot. But it was definitely Stack is a player and Smoke is sweet, but he can't give you what you need, so he's gonna run away because he doesn't have the capacity to be an adult and talk about things. But they're just two brothers, so obviously they're going to pick each other over anyone else.
Yeah.
I liked it.
4.5. So what's keeping you from giving it 5?
It's just my first.
You don't want to just throw out a 5.
Yeah, I can't just give it a 5.
I see what you're saying.
What if the next one's better? Like when we do Repo, the genetic rock opera.
Right.
That's a 5.
That's a 5.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite scene?
I mean, the music montage.
It was so good.
It was so good. I
think it transcended even the rest of the movie. As far as as how cool it was. I think it stood alone as its own thing even. I really, really liked that.
I mean, number one, love a mashup.
Sure.
Love how it skipped around through the different decades.
Right.
Love that it pulled in the beginning of the movie, that some people can, go beyond the veil and connect to the future, or to the past and the future.
Right.
So that was really fun. Yeah, and I loved all the dancing, and I just loved it.
It was just a really well put together and executed scene. Everything came together really well. The music. I want to mention the composer for the music for this. His name is Ludwig Göransson. He's worked on all of Ryan Coogler's movies, and he scored the dance sequence live on set. He and his wife did. So they scored it live, which is not too common of a thing to do. But I thought that the score to this was really cool. It incorporates blues, of course, but other types of music, including heavy metal, which I liked a lot. Like when it really gets into the horror towards the end, we get a lot of electric, heavy, super heavy guitar, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
I want to say Ludwig Göransson also did the score for Mandy, but I'm not positive about that. But he and Ryan Coogler went to film school together, so that's why they hooked up. But yeah, that sequence is so cool. That was definitely my favorite part as well.
Yeah, and I think that it's like definitely a commentary on like doesn't matter from the past to the future. Like all music is based in a lot of African American culture, and it was so cool.
Yeah, and that's another thing about this movie that I think is really neat. It encompasses a lot of ideas, I think. It's talking about appropriation of Black culture and Black bodies and Black lives by other people. And it also, I thought, interestingly chose to make the vampire Irish and have him point out to to Smoke and Stack and the rest of them how he came from a similar situation and his land was appropriated by other people and his music and his culture, and also how Christianity came into these people's cultures, into the African American culture and into like the Irish culture when they originally had a more pagan belief system, but then when they were colonized, Christianity was thrust upon them.
And it's still happening today.
That's right. So it has a lot to say about that kind of stuff, and I thought it was really smart. And I think a lot of movies that feel like, we talked about, you weren't there, but last week we talked about The Dead Thing being that director's first feature. And this isn't Ryan Coogler's first feature, but it is the first movie that, like I said, came from an original idea of his. And I think a lot of times directors will fall into this trap where when it's their first big idea, they want to try and shove too much into it, too much meaning. And so sometimes that can make your movie jumbled and aimless and not with a clarity of purpose. But I think this movie, it does incorporate a lot of really big ideas about cultural appropriation and about colonialism, slavery, things like that. But I think that he actually nails it.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think also he does it in a really smart way that you can read in as much into it as you like, or not.
Sure, it can also just be a crowd-pleasing popcorn movie. You don't have to read into it. But I think, as far as what I've been seeing on social media, Black audiences are loving this movie, and they are reading a lot into it.
Good.
And having a lot of discussions about it that I think are really interesting, which is cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've said many times, sorry about that. My messages are not, I don't know how to turn them off on my computer. I've said many times on the show, when I go to movies in the theater, I would say usually the majority of the audience is Black. And I think that Black audiences, just from my own experience, they go to the theater more. And they are interested in horror, and it's about time that they're having movies made that speak to their personal experiences.
Right.
And so I loved that this did that. I also thought that there was a good amount of humor in here that worked well. There were some very funny scenes, a lot of smart dialogue.
Shot me in the ass.
I also liked the music that the vampires sang and how it became, the song that they initially sing has a double meaning,
Right.
And then the song that he sings later and talks about trying to make it in a land that's not yours and facing oppression and stuff. And I liked how, his music also spoke to the same problems that the black characters were having. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I liked the way that he portrayed the vampires as well. I really liked the whole baptism scene, where he was like, all you have to do is join us, and he was submerging him into the water, and it was very representative of the church baptism of giving up your old life and starting anew and joining the family, and it's a visual representation. So I thought that was very smart too.
And I liked, even though I thought my only real critique of this movie is that I think it's a little long, and I don't think he does quite as well with when it becomes a horror movie as he did before. I think it falls apart a little bit just in some of the scenes in the third act. I feel like they need some kind of momentum help. There's several scenes where the vampires are trying to get let in, and I think that some of those scenes work better than others, and that maybe they only needed really one,
Right.
the longer one where, what was his name, Finnick or something? Finnan? The Irish vampire, the head vampire, where he's kind of pleading his case to them and saying they're never going to accept you. You can't make it in a white man's world this way. Because what we find out too at the end is that Smoke and Stack bought this building that they're turning into the juke joint from this
Head of the
gross old
clan.
white man who's the head of the clan, and they sold it to him knowing that they were going to come and take it away from him afterwards, after they took their money. So the Irish vampire rightly points out, you can't succeed on their terms. Why don't you join us and we'll live outside of society and succeed on our own terms? Which is very smart and interesting, and had to have been kind of a temptation for them.
Listeners, I will tell you that Amy was like, well, they should have just became vampires.
Yeah, I would have.
I know you would have.
I mean, yeah. I also liked how horny this movie was.
Yeah.
There's lots of fucking in it.
There's
lots of jokes about fucking in it.
There's a whole dialogue going back and forth about how to stimulate the clitoris.
Yeah.
Why not push that button, honey?
Yeah, push the button. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I love the attention to detail in the daily lives of the people in the first half. I thought it was really immersive. Just getting down to this costs 10 cents. I'm going to give you $2 if you watch this car or $10 if you watch the car for me, or whatever. I liked how firmly it was in a time and a place. And I liked that he took the time to let the characters let who they are kind of gradually reveal themselves to the viewers.
Right. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of times where either Smoke or Stack are kind of portraying a lot of humanity through their cousin Sammy and trying to teach him the ropes. Okay, this wasn't taught to you, but let me help you here. Learn from me, even though Sammy just wants to move away to Chicago and they're telling him, no,
we did that.
No, you're not listening.
Right. I also think this works as an allegory for the pitfalls that black artists face as far as people trying to control your work and because the vampires are they have kind of a hive mind, and they want to be able to use him and his talent
Right.
to be able to be in connection more closely with their ancestors and stuff. So I think it also reads as an allegory for the pitfalls that Black artists will face and the temptations that they face and the risks of being exploited by other people who don't have their best interests at heart.
Smart. Didn't think of that, but that sounds very true. Good podcasting.
There are some other movies that I thought about after watching this in terms of movies where the story takes like a mad turn halfway through. And one recent one that I thought of was Barbarian. Remember that one where the girl goes to stay at the Airbnb, but there's already somebody booked there, and then they look in the basement, and so it turns into a different kind of movie in the second half. I also thought of Audition, which is a 99 horror movie that starts off that you think it's a romantic comedy, but then it turns into a horror movie.
Love that.
Yeah. And then the granddaddy of this is Psycho, which starts out as a bank heist movie and then very quickly turns into something completely different.
Yeah, and then you got chocolate fudge in the bathtub.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I think this is a worthy addition to that canon, and certainly better than Barbarian, which I thought was pretty middling. And I really thought that Sammy's voice was something else.
Yeah.
His singing voice. It was amazing.
What'd you feel about his speaking voice?
He had quite a slur. Yeah. It was very like kind of all drawn together like this. And it didn't move his mouth at all while he talked.
I'm sorry, Sammy. I know that you're not an actor.
I think he did great.
Yeah.
There are two end credits or after credits sequences.
We missed one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell the audience now, we missed one of them.
We did. We thought we were really clever. Like, oh, no, we're not getting up. And then there was one. But then I figured once the crawl started happening that it would be done. But there's another one. I don't know exactly what happens. But
we are ashamed.
yeah. But we'll talk spoilers in a second here. Were you okay with how the movie ended?
Yeah. Are we talking spoilers now?
Not yet.
Oh. Yeah, I liked it.
Did you like the after credits sequence that we saw? Did you think that added?
Yeah, I loved it. I wanted to see that bow tied up.
Yeah, I really liked that. I thought it was cool. And I'm going to give this a 4.5 as well. I really enjoyed it. And I really recommend that you see it in the theater if you can. It's a very, it's a big sprawling movie with a lot of really beautiful shots in it. And since it was filmed in IMAX, I think, it behooves you to see it on the big screen. You agree?
Yes.
Excellent. All right, let's get into some spoilers. So, what ends up happening is they get to... Is it Mary?
Mary is with Stack. Mary's with Stack.
And she goes outside because the vampires want to come in because they hear Sammy playing this music, which is, magical. And they won't let him in, but people are all paying on company script at the juke joint, so they're not making as much money as they thought they were going to. So Mary wants to be helpful, and she goes out and tries to talk to the people to see are they going to start problems or whatever, and then they turn her. And then she's able to get in, which is what ends up fucking them over, letting the vampires in. And just about everybody dies except for, by the end, or by the climax, we've got Smoke and Stack alive and Sammy alive. His love interest is killed. Then eventually, Alice, Smoke's love interest, is killed. Is that right? I forget who's with who.
That is... I didn't know that her name was Alice. I thought it was Annie, but...
Oh, maybe it is Annie.
Okay. Yes. Smoke and the Voodoo Queen are together, and then Mary and Stack.
Okay. So Mary, of course, is changed. Stack ends up getting changed. Mm-hmm. And then basically everybody fights it out until Smoke is able to, what does he get? He gets the head vampire.
No, Sammy does that.
Sammy does it
With
the guitar.
Yeah, we leave Smoke and Stack together, and you think that Smoke is killing Stack because he is a vampire.
And Stack wants Smoke to become a vampire with him.
Right.
He
and so
Mary,
does Mary, yeah.
Right. They're like, this is great.
Right.
We'll live forever. We can,
But Smoke had already promised his girl that he would kill her if anything happened to her because she does not want to become a part of this. So then Sammy's outside with the head vampire, and anyone that he has turned can also feel his pain.
The head vampire, yeah.
Right. So when Sammy goes and smacks him over the head with the guitar, and the silver inside of the guitar sticks into his head, that gives him a moment where everyone is, feeling that silver coursing through their blood.
Right. And so he's able to then...
Right, distracts them enough until the sun comes up.
Right. And they end up getting in the first place because
the shop owner
went out there, and his wife was like,
"Come in, you fuckers!"
Yeah. And I really liked the scene with her when she stabs the vampire and then fire falls on her and she just stays on there.
Yeah.
That looked so cool. There's this image of her as just a burned out shell, but she's still holding the stake. That was really neat. But it ends with what we think is Smoke dying.
Right.
He has to mercy kill his wife when she gets bit. And then what he wants to do is he finds out that the Klansmen were coming the next morning.
Right.
And they were going to shoot the place up. So he ends up taking all of them out, but then gets gravely wounded. And it's sweet because at the end he sees his wife and his baby who had died.
Yeah. I'm happy that everyone, quote unquote, ended up happily ever after.
Where they wanted to be.
Right.
Because it's revealed that Stack does not die.
Stack did not die. Him and Mary come back in the credit sequence in the 90s. And they're very cute in their little 90s outfit.
Yes, and in fact, the outfit that he is wearing when he comes in, it looks just like the outfit that a character named Radio Raheem wears in Do the Right Thing. Which I thought was cool. It was a direct reference to that.
Do you know what I did not think was cool?
What?
That nobody caught the fact that they put that baby in Pampers.
I didn't notice it.
I was so mad.
So when he sees the vision of his child when he's dying, apparently the baby has disposable diapers on.
It made me so mad. Throw a cloth diaper over that. Come on.
It's like the wristwatches in the Lord of the Rings movies.
Take me right out of this.
It's also cool because they show the after credits sequence. It's like, yeah, you said it was in the 90s. And they show Sammy as a grown-up who, in the beginning of the movie, his dad is calling him to, turn away from music and pursue a Christian lifestyle and leave all this behind and blah, blah, blah. And he decides, no, I'm going to follow my...
Which was really shocking to me. Like, going after all of that happened last night and going back into church and having your dad be like, come back to the light. Like, that this was the devil. And he even said it as it was all happening. Like, I played with the devil too many times. My dad warned me he's going to come in. And he was just like, no, like... This is me.
Yeah. So we see him in the 90s, and he's played by Buddy Guy, who is a very famous blues legend, which was cool. And There is a theory going around on TikTok that Sammy, prior to the events in the movie...
Robert Johnson in your Apple Music library.
Oh, that's
You
weird.
can ask me to play a radio.
Oh, that was me.
Robert Johnson. That's funny because I was going to talk about Robert Johnson. So there is a theory going around on TikTok where prior to the events of the movie, Sammy sold his soul to the devil for the ability to play and sing like that. Because Clarksdale, is it Clarksdale? I think so. Clarksdale, Mississippi is the home of the infamous crossroads where Robert Johnson was, as the legend goes, where Robert Johnson sold his soul to the devil to be able to play guitar. And it's also, I believe, the birthplace of the blues. Clarksdale, Mississippi. So people think at the very end of the movie when Sammy looks off into the distance after they leave that he's looking at the devil.
I don't mind that.
No. So that is what we think about Sinners. We both really enjoyed it, and we think you should see it.
Remember when he named his studio Perlas?
Yeah.
That was sweet.
Perline. His first love.
Oh yeah, it sounded like praline.
Yeah.
I remember now.
There's a lot of little Easter eggs in this that are cool like that.
Yeah.
So let us know what you thought of Sinners if you've gotten a chance to see it. We love to hear from you. And for our next movie, we are going to be reviewing Repo, the Genetic Opera.
Raka.
I don't think so. Babe.
Pull it back up. I'll see myself out.
It's quite alright. Repo, the Genetic Opera is on Prime Video, so you can watch it. And you should. And you should join us in 2 weeks so that we can discuss it. It's another musical, guys.
The one we just reviewed was not a musical.
I consider it a musical. And that's what it's going to be. God damn it. So thank you guys for listening. Please give us a rating and a review if you have not done so yet. It helps more people to find the podcast. Also tell your friends if you've got some horror-loving friends and they're looking for podcasts. Or just horror movie recommendations. We have 10 years worth for you. Okay, I think you did great on your first formal episode.
Oh, shucks. I don't think you would tell me if I did poorly, but I thank you.
I probably wouldn't, but as it happens, you did great.
Yes. All right, let's wrap this up so we can go play Skippo.
Okay. Listeners, thank you for listening. This has been episode 275 of the podcast. And until next time, I've been Amy.
And I'm Kay.
Thank you, good night, and hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Praise him.